With the most recent update, Brieg is now a free unit available in the expanded Adventurers path called the Heroes path, but with what we know now, I wouldn't really blame you if you decided to use a selector on him anyways. I get that the Heroes path isn't necessarily something that's meant to be rushed, but considering Brieg is supposedly the final reward, I don't think anyone has seen the actual final reward yet. And that he's such a core PvE hero, I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't take ages for players to get him. After making it through the 70 missions for part 1, I was hoping that part 2 and hopefully part 3 would be shorter, but it seems like part 2 is pretty much the same thing, 70 missions with some of these being super long. You shouldn't be getting through part 1 as fast as I did. This is an alt, so I was just burning resources very inefficiently to get here this fast. On normal progression, you should probably take like an extra week or two to get done with this. But here we are at Heroes Path 2 with more of the same. And if Heroes Path 3 is also 70 missions with these very long requirements, then it's going to take pretty much forever to get Brieg. So it basically comes down to this. Current players get 7 hero selectors, newer players get 9 hero selectors. If you want Brieg to make your PvE experience much easier, you might want to consider just using a selector on him. We have so many selectors right now that it wouldn't be too big of an issue, or even if he's a free unit, since it's going to take months to get him, using a hero selector on him wouldn't be the worst thing. So I've only seen part 1 and 2 of the missions so far, and just these 2 parts alone should, on normal playtime, take a month and a half to 2 months probably. Potentially longer depending on if you're literally just rushing the missions and nothing else and how far your progression is. However, Brieg is still a free unit, so it might feel bad using a selector on him, since that could have been a different unit, right? You could have selected a different unit, and that's basically 605 bookmarks wasted. So it's up to you whether you want Brieg now or later. I will mention that Brieg isn't a mandatory unit for PvE content. I mean, we all survived before he came out, but he's definitely a top 2 PvE unit in the game and makes PvE way easier to get through. So I'll go over the missions in both part 1 and part 2, especially part 2 since not many people have seen these missions yet, and we can get a general idea for how long the missions take. I'm hard gated on part 2. No matter how many unethical things I do, I cannot clear part 2 until Monday, so I won't know what part 3 is and I won't be able to show it until then. So here's the missions most of you guys have seen, the first part of the Heroes Path. Not all 70 missions are completely separate. Some of these are steps. There is this one, clear Cadies 100 times. There's also a clear Cadies 20 times and 50 times. So some of these are steps and some of these are trivial. There's one that's craft gear using wyvern materials, but you have to farm wyvern for the mission, so that would also be trivial. So I'll go over pretty much what the largest, most annoying missions were. One thing is that these missions can be completed out of order. You can see here that even though I'm still farming epic runes, I have a lot of these missions done already. I've already crafted my golem gear, I've cleared golem 60 times, and it tracks the progress and it's completed. So the rewards do have to be claimed in order. I can't clear these rewards yet until I clear the mission that's blocking the way. But you can progress them, so when you're trying to figure out how to clear these missions, if you choose to, make sure that you keep that in mind. Also, I wouldn't really burn leaves on these missions. You want to save those for buff events. Even during this Epic Dash event, we are still going to get extra buffs on a certain set of days over 5 weeks, I think. So you definitely want to save your leaves if you're going to spend any for those extra buff days. So you'd mostly be doing these missions off of daily energy. The most time-consuming missions are get 1000 AP, if I can find it. Yeah, 1000 AP, and then you see there's the Golem one here, 90 times. There's Golem 90 times, and then Banshee is 110 times, and then Asthmatic 100, Hades 100, Spirit Altar on hard 50 times, and then there should be a Wyvern one 100 times as well. And then there's also this one up here. It should be Awaken a Hero to 6-star 8 times. There's also a mission for Awakening a Hero to 5-star 8 times, so promoting or just awakening from 5 to 6-star wouldn't be enough. You do have to also hit the 5-star requirement. And then there is also this one, Explore Labyrinth. Explore Labyrinth 10 times. So those are the ones that I think would take the most time overall. So 10 or 1000 AP isn't really a huge deal because that's something you would do normally. You're farming catalysts, you get the AP, you get useful rewards. With the 50% AP buff we currently have, it would be about 667 energy without accounting for pet procs. If there's not an AP buff active, it would cost 1000 energy, not accounting for pet procs. 100 of each hunt is also decent progress since you do get crafting materials for gear. But with Rift out, it does feel a little bit worse to be doing hunts, especially if you don't need the resources that hunts give, because Rift is much more efficient for getting gear. Also, newer players might not have all 5 hunts, or have the ability to clear all 5 hunts, especially Katie's is pretty annoying to clear. While you might be able to clear some of the hunts, you might not be able to clear it in a time-efficient manner. Like, Banshee is very notable for having horrendously slow runs, same with Azumanic and Katie's. And while the missions don't necessarily mention that you have to do Hunt 15, like Azumanic and Katie's are both Hunt 8, and then Wyvern, Banshee, Golem are Hunt 10. If you're going to spend energy on Hunt, you do want to be farming Hunt 13 just to be efficient with your energy. So this is annoying because of the not just the raw energy cost, but also because of the time investment depending on your teams, and also needing to gear these teams up. Overall, it's 500 hunt runs total with 20 energy per run. That's 10,000 energy. Next, there's Clear Spirit Altar Hard 50 times. So this is annoying because it has to be hard. It can't be hard or hell, and hell is just more efficient than hard. So we're farming a less efficient difficulty 50 times. Not the end of the world. We're still getting some runes, just not as many runes as we would for the energy that we're spending usually. 550 energy to clear Spirit Altar Hard difficulty 50 times. So overall, about 11,000 energy for the missions. There's also a mission to clear Abyss 70, which does cost energy, but it's pretty much part of normal gameplay, so I'm not really counting it, and it's also not that hard to do. And then there's the Awaken 8 Heroes to 5 and 6 star. The time for this can vary, because it really depends how many resources you have saved up, especially since you need to promote the units to 6 star if they're still 5 star. So this could be super fast if you have all the resources saved up, all the blooms, all the penguins, and all the runes especially. But if you don't and you have to farm it from scratch, then it could take you a very long time. So we can't really put a number on how long this would take or how much energy it would cost, but either very long or very short depending on how many resources you have. And then lastly, there's the 10 Labyrinth Clears. So we get 1 compass per day, and then there are other sources of compasses. Do not buy them with Skystones and Leaves. No, not worth it at all. You want to save your Skystones and Leaves. There is a compass in the guild shop, which still feels kind of bad to buy because the trade-off is a lesser artifact charm, and artifact EXP is really annoying to get, but not as bad as Leaves or Skystones. So we can assume that this takes 8 days if we buy the compass from the guild shop, because the guild shop compass is once a week. So 8 days, and we should be able to finish this labyrinth. So for the first path, I would say the gate is probably the energy, but it should finish at around the same time, probably like 10 days-ish, unless you get hard gated by the Awaken a Hero to 6 star 8 times. However, there is one more factor for the labyrinth, because of Asmaculus of Cycle. Asmaculus of Cycle, you need Malicious Bug Charms to enter, which can be bought in the shop. It costs 3 compasses for 1 token. And this would be 1 entry, essentially. So you would spend 3 compasses for 1 entry, and every time you buy one of these, you would essentially be losing 2 entries. The thing is, this is still very important to buy because you want to be doing your cycle clears. And clearing normal is 1 token per entry, Nightmare costs 2. Clearing normal is pretty trivial, so especially by the time you've like done the AP or the promotion and awaken missions, you should be able to farm normal cycle. So anywhere from 10 to 25 labyrinth clears a month are going to be missing depending on your progression level. But this is mainly a problem once you get to the second hero's path, because at the end of the second hero's path, if you thought 10 was bad, you have to clear Labyrinth 25 times. So this is where I think a lot of people, especially newer players, are going to be stuck. There are some compasses in the Achieving Adventure if you want to hold on to those to clear the Labyrinth mission a bit faster. That could be a way to go. Where's it? It's like way in the front. Yeah, I just passed myself. There's like 2 here. I think there's like 3 down here somewhere too. So you could hold on to your compasses and hold them for the 25 Labyrinth entry missions. So this is where the being able to clear Asmaclus of Cycle is an issue, because clearing Cycle is very useful for the gear that it provides. Definitely worth doing, even if it slows down your progression on the missions here. By the time you're here, you definitely should be able to clear normal and potentially some of the nightmares, but we'll ignore nightmare for now and just say that you're doing the usual 5 normal clears. So it would be 24 entries a month, assuming you buy the Guild Compass, potentially 25, depending on how the weeks line up. So we can say that it takes a month to clear the Hero's Path 2. And also not including the saving any compasses from any extra sources. If you do, then you could reduce this by a few days. So I would expect that the gate for Path 2 is going to be just this Labyrinth mission specifically, because this is by far going to be the longest one. And since not that many people have been to Path 2 yet, we can take a look at some of the missions. So here, clear Stage 6-5 in Epitaph Wilderness of the Past. This is Episode 3, so clear Episode 3, Stage 5. These are retroactive, so once you've cleared these stages already, you don't have to go back and clear them again. And then from Abyss 70 in Path 1, we're now at Abyss 75 in Path 2. Win Arena 130 times. This shouldn't be that hard if you're doing it over the course of a month. Clear Wyvern Hunt 120 times. Enhance Equipment 80 times, it's pretty trivial. Golem 110 times. There's the Labyrinth 25 times. Clear floor 15 of Auto Tower. This isn't too bad. It takes... You're going to pass through at least 1 rotation, so it shouldn't be an issue even if you already cleared floor 15. And then craft Asthmatic gear is trivial because you have to do 110 Asthmatic hunts. Though you could also save your crafting materials from the bunch of runs that you had to do for the first hero pass. You can do this a bit easier. And then reforge 8 pieces of gear. This one, you might want to be a little bit... Don't reforge bad pieces of gear just to get this mission done. You have pretty much a whole month waiting on the Labyrinth one anyway, so make sure you're reforging good gear. Conversion, trivial. Reach Master 3, I would say, is supposed to be pretty easy, but it might be hard for some people. But this mission shouldn't be that bad either. You have a whole month to do it. Hades Hunt 9, 110 times. Ideally doing 13, so it's another big hunt energy sink. The acquire 60 epic runes in Spirit Altar. So this one is a little bit interesting because there's acquire 60 runes in Spirit Altar, and there is also... Where is it? There is one. Oh, clear Spirit Altar on Hell 100 times. So we've upgraded from hard to Hell at least. But here, I've done 70 runs of Hell, and I have 18 epic runes. So it's probably going to take you longer or more than 100 Hell clears to get 60 epic runes. It is, of course, RNG dependent. The issue is it says acquire them in Spirit Altar, so you can't get them by combining, I think. We can check right now. I was at 18. So we combine 1 to 19. And I'm still at 18. It's my current mission. So we're still at 18, so combining doesn't work. You have to actually get them in Spirit Altar, which means that it's going to take much longer than 100 runs, I would say, to get the 60 epic runes. So you might be here for a while. Also, there's 2x runes right now, so it's faster than usual. If you're farming this after the epic pass is gone, yeah. Check in the guild 2 times. Just join any guild. Pretty easy. Takes 2 days. Extract equipment you'll do while playing. Clear Banshee Hunt 90 times, and then craft Banshee gear. This is trivial because you get the mats while clearing Banshee. This is just a smaller one of the Labyrinth one. Spend 450 conquest points. I don't know if that was the lowest one, or if the highest one, if there was one higher. Either way, spending conquest points is whatever. You'll clear this just by buying the daily energy, and you'll get more than enough conquest points just by doing the Win Arena missions. And then craft Charm and Alchemist Steeple 6 times. You can just do this one in a week. Extract a bunch of equipment you'll do while playing normally. So the Spirit Altar on health thing I mentioned. Enhance equipment you'll do while playing normally. And then get 900 AP is the same as the other one. 900 AP isn't bad to get, so it's not a bad mission. Release pets 30 times is also not that bad to get. You did get some pet tickets in here somewhere, if I remember correctly. So you probably want to save those. And otherwise, daily summons and the pet tickets you get from World Boss would probably be good enough for... Here you go. Would probably be good enough for getting those 30 pet releases. And then from the 30 pet releases, there's get 1 million points in Hall of Trials. This isn't too bad because it's only 1 million points, which is honestly very, very fast to get. I think you enter a single break phase and you'll probably walk out with at least 1 million, so this is pretty trivial. Craft Golem gear is trivial because you'll get more than enough materials from clearing Golem the 110 times you had to do. And then these are all just smaller ones of the other missions. Sell equipment, trivial. So yeah, these missions aren't... The Labyrinth one is just a big time sink. There's nothing like the Awaken 8 heroes to 6-star. That's going to be a massive resource sink as well. But these are still time consuming. So we've only been through Path 1 and Path 2, and we haven't looked at Path 3 yet. And this is going to take at least a month on normal gameplay. Like, I think if you don't do your cycle raids, and you just do everything as fast as you can while not being super wasteful with your Leafs and Skystones, it probably takes about a month to do Path 1 and Path 2 combined. So this is the thing where it's just, we haven't even seen Path 3 yet, and Path 1 and Path 2 are taking this long. If you want Brieg now, you might want to just select him. Once I do finish this Labyrinth mission here on Monday, I will take a look at Path 3 and probably summarize all of the missions together. And until then, some of you guys might have a hard decision to make.